guys, welcome back to Hear Me Out Pitch. This is the podcast where some nerds get together and we talk about movies.
I am not a nerd.
That's
a lie.
That's a lie.
Says the
Both know
Funko
it.
Pop staring at me over my shoulder. You liar. You make me sick.
The comic books and movies and the video games.
Oh man. And I mean, I guess I could technically say I'm a geek too, because I collect some random abstract things like my Coca-Cola bottles. I have a bunch of stuff from Africa, candles, movies, chairs.
Along with that Coca-Cola bottles thing, somewhere I have a 3-liter bottle.
Oh, glass?
No,
Oh.
I wish.
Wait, a plastic 3-liter bottle?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you get that? I want one.
Where do you think?
Costco?
No, Chile. Different country.
Oh my gosh, that's
you can't
insane.
get it here. And it's one of the returnable ones too.
Oh.
Because in foreign countries,
Yeah, they use glass bottles.
they use returnable bottles. Period. In Chile, they have the glass bottles that you can return, get your money back, or get a discount on your next purchase of.
My dad did
the
that
bottles.
as a kid too.
Or the plastic. It's like a very heavy duty plastic bottle.
It's not like it's not very see-through, right? It's like almost glossy.
Oh, it's
Like it's different. Like if
it is different.
if
It's
you did the
thicker.
thunk on your head at the end of it, you'd be like, ooh,
No,
that's some weight.
no, it's still pretty. I don't know. I have it somewhere.
Well,
I'll
I
try to
definitely
find
want a picture with it because that's awesome. No, I used to have these classic Coke things. My dad used to collect A&W mugs. You can see one of them right there. I have a Macho mug. My dad has an A&W mug, a very rare one with Snoopy with it. It's really
Really?
cool, and he has a 2002 Olympics. And yeah,
Nice.
I think I have something from the Olympics. I have a shot glass from the. Oh, shot glass is another weird one I have. I love collecting weird stuff. Did I just stop recording? No, I
I
didn't.
collect swords. That's my thing.
This man at his wedding cut the cake with a sword.
Yep.
It was pretty cool.
I did
No, I will not be doing that at my wedding. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll ask Tim to get me a dagger.
I have the sword I used is only like 1.5 feet long.
It was, but he had like.
I had to angle it. but
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was still sweet. It was a cute reception. Very well done. I loved it. I walked in. I was like, "Wow."
it was unique. We had some gaming cabinets.
I felt very welcome. So it was nice.
That was our plan.
It was good. It was a very good one. But holy crap, we are more than halfway through October, and I want to throw something in there. Funny enough, we talked about Season of the Witch, but that's an actual thing. Is the Season of the Witch, which is like the witching hours, all this stuff, like all. So technically, I would like to say that Season of the Witch is spoopy time. September 23rd or the autumn equinox. To me, that's when spooky season should be officially. So, anyway,
I mean,
half the time.
I don't complain when people start decorating in August. It doesn't bother me because it's spooky season and Halloween is the greatest holiday of all time.
I mean, it's more of like a fall, autumn, and then it slowly gets more tired during Thanksgiving. But again, I only will listen to Christmas music. Black Friday, I will turn it on. Mariah Carey, as I walk into the halls of Shadow of Death, a.e. the shopping malls, I will gladly have All I Want for Christmas Is You, because I know she better still be thawing. I better not hear her for another 5 weeks. She needs to be frozen a little bit longer, but you best believe.
I heard Christmas music on the radio today.
You did not.
It made me cry.
Christmas
on
the radio. Who? So I can just call up their place and be like, who are you? Who hurt you? It's Halloween time.
I think it was FM 100.3.
I bet I'm calling.
I
It's
think.
Ghostbusters right now. Ghostbusters, Thriller,
Uh-huh.
so many things. Ooh,
Monster Mash.
absolutely.
Yeah. No, December 1st for me.
Really?
I need that grace period, that week between Thanksgiving and December 1st,
Where there's no holiday?
where there's no holiday. I can listen to whatever music I desire. I can listen to Coldplay. I can listen to AC/DC. I can listen to whatever the frick I want before it's just straight Christmas music for 2 months.
Oof.
It's Christmas music until the middle of January.
No, I honestly, I can't, like the second, like the 26th at 12 a.m., bing, like everyone dies. Like Christmas dead.
No, I will listen to Christmas music from December 1st to Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And maybe the day after. Generally not.
Unless, like, if people are doing like a late Christmas celebration, maybe, yeah, whatever.
Celebrations, I'll listen to the music then, but...
And we'll talk more about Christmas movies and traditions when it gets closer. So let's get back to... So maybe I'll put you in a spoopy mood real quick. And funny enough, we're talking about The Witching Hour. Have you ever seen Paranorman?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I had a very, very sad thought because I listened to it at work today because I love Leica Studios, which we need to definitely talk about their last movie they did because it was not that good. And Box Trolls, because there's a few things I'd want. It's just too cheesy.
What was their last one?
It's called The Missing Link. It was with Hugh Jackman and a Sasquatch. See, no one knows it. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so Paranorman. Mm-hmm. I highly recommend it for everyone.
It's pretty good.
Really cute. And I'm going to say, if you haven't seen it and you don't want it to get spoiled, maybe fast forward like a couple minutes. Because really, it's really cute and I do like it. So you've been warned, spoiler warning for Paranorman. But Agatha, the witch, who it turns out to be a little girl, if I think about it too, I was choking up at work. But when Agatha finally remembers herself, comes to herself after Norman, relates to her, she says, "My mommy used to come here and read stories to me." And then it turns out that they've been reading her stories. My headcanon is her mother was the first one to be reading her stories every night because she lost her daughter.
Oh.
Because why would it be an old book that's been passed down from the Pendergasts all the way down to Norman? Her mom started it. Not the villagers. Why would the villagers care for a dead witch? Her mom went out every day to read her stories so she could sleep a little more peacefully.
That's just depressing.
And the thing is, and people might say that's not how it's Leica Studios. You'd best believe. Anyway, I really loved that movie.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Frankie and Weenie, not so much.
Well, that one's not Leica. That's just
You're right.
That's just Disney with Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Tim Burton, funny enough, did not direct Nightmare Before Christmas. He's the creator, but it's a totally different guy. He had input. You can just say he was like an executive producer. But really, the two animated movies that stop motion movies that he's done are Corpse Bride, which I love, and Frankenweenie. So
my wife and I just watched Corpse Bride last weekend. I think it was this last weekend.
It's a good spoopy movie.
It's a good one. It's cute.
How you can tell that it is Tim Burton directing is usually Johnny Depp or I can't remember her name. Helena
Bonham Carter.
Thank you.
Bellatrix Lestrange.
Bellatrix Lestrange.
Or the mom in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yep. Or so many things.
She's a really good actress.
I think you should definitely watch Sweeney Todd one day with them. It's R because it's over the top theater blood. Like,
gotcha.
Like, it is ridiculous, but it's just them singing the songs. And even some musical productions out there have implemented the knives that will spray blood, and it will get on the like they'll hand out coats to audience members, and I hopefully it gets out of their clothes. But
so over the top theater blood, like Monty Python over the top.
Yes, but it looks. But the film is so like black and white and grainy almost. It almost looks like a different color tone, but the blood just shines, and it's just very well done. But yeah, no, they cut them. It's like it's ridiculous. Like, you laugh. Because now that you said Monty Python, I'm like, yep, it's definitely like that. But they did it for a good reason. It's a good story about revenge. I enjoy it. And if you don't want to watch it, at least listen to this soundtrack.
Get back here. Bite your legs off.
I'll bite your legs off. It's just a flesh wound. Another positive note, another thing to kind of talk about movies and bring us back into it. How did you like that Disney short?
It was so cute. I loved it.
For those of you who haven't seen it, Disney Animation Studios turned 100 yesterday? No, Monday. This week.
Yeah, it was this week.
This week, they turned 100 years old, so they have a little short on Disney Plus now called Once Upon a Studio, and all the animated characters, literally all of them, get together for a group photo, and it's just adorable, and every single person voiced, every character voiced, including the genie, is voiced by either the original actor or an actor who has taken up the mantle now. So when you hear Robin Williams, it's not AI. They used recycled footage to make it. He just looks at Olaf, who falls out of a chair, and goes, "Oh, I haven't seen a fall like that since Rome," and revise him. Much better. And you're like, "Oh, so good." Oh,
I miss that man.
I do too. We talked about him last week.
Yeah, we did.
I think about him often.
Yeah. He is one of, if not the best actor of all time, I think.
I think he was very powerful. And I think the little boy in me had a connection with him because I was like, oh, his name's almost like my name. I, of course, am Willem, spelled with Willem, and he was Williams, which is IAMS. But still, little kid, just got connected. But I think he definitely inspired my want to do voices, or at least was a big influence compared to so many others. I can name many voice actors, but he was very well done, very good. And we highly recommend everyone watch that short. Probably the best thing Disney's come out with in these past 2 years for sure. I can't think of anything that made me fall in love with Disney all over again. Like, I just forgot all the crap they've given out this past couple of years, and I was like, is there hope for Disney?
with all the garbage that's been going on with Disney, this was really, really good. It made me happy.
So, well, we've talked about Spoopy Time, talked about some Disney, and everyone's probably sick of our tangents. So, Tim, let's dive right in. So, what did we watch this week?
Well, before we talk about what we watched.
Oh. Items
what
of
are
business?
your thoughts on alien movies, period? Just alien movies as a blanket.
Man, that is it's a very good blend. I don't mind them. I am a big fan of science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So, because technically the Transformers are aliens, so I love them. I love E.T. I loved Signs. That was probably one of my favorite M. Night Shyamalan's movies. But for the most part, I don't mind them. Why? Why do you ask? I'm curious.
Well, I don't know. I was just curious. Because for me, there's different categories for alien movie, right? When I think of alien movies, most of the time I think of like 3 separate categories. I think of classic alien movie, right? The little green men with massive Martian heads come in, abduct somebody, right? That kind of thing.
Oh no, they got not the drill.
I would consider Indiana Jones 4, The Crystal Skull.
We never finished that. We were totally going to talk about that.
Well, we were going to talk about it. It turned into my Star Wars episode.
That's right.
Because we both felt like it fit the criteria of an Indiana Jones movie, and I didn't hate it.
Yeah, it just...
The first time I watched it, it was terrible. I hated it.
But now...
Now I feel like I could... I'm not going to go turn it on just because I want to watch it, but I would watch it again if it was on.
The first 30 minutes definitely feel Indiana Jones. I would say the last it gets weird in the end. But honestly,
it does
now
still feel like indie.
It does.
Like it's still the same.
Are
feel.
they that cheesy of movies though? And I think the answer is
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so good.
It's just cheesy. Don't expect anything else.
But we see, right, the alien thing in that.
Yeah.
And it's that classic alien, right? Then there's Star Trek and Star Wars.
Oh, yes.
Right? The greatest, where it's humanity out among the stars, right? So we have the aliens on Earth, humanity out among the stars, mingling with all these different aliens. And then we have kind of the combo of the two, where we have aliens come to Earth, but we also have humanity go out to the stars. And I think that's where this movie fits.
Okay.
For those of you wondering, we hit this week. We're hitting Men in Black, the new one, the one with Chris Hemsworth, all the Chris's,
many
Chris
Chris's.
Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson.
Ooh.
Those two are a dynamic duo.
Ugh.
I do feel like they do work really well together.
I am on the other end. Oof.
So here's my thought.
Okay.
I think Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson are very good actors.
Yes.
And they do work well together in general. But this movie, I feel like I don't know. They kind of pulled the essence of the two people out of their characters in the movie just a little bit.
What do you mean?
So Tessa Thompson played Molly, right? And obviously the girl boss, right? The super awesome, can do everything, super smart, all of that. That's the kind of character that Tessa Thompson likes to play.
Like Valkyrie.
Like Valkyrie, right? And Valkyrie, it might just be that I only see Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie because that's the first big show that she was in that I recognized her from. But in this movie, it felt more that personality that she brings to these movies felt a little subdued. She does have a fantastic American accent, but
I was shocked when you said that because I was like, wait, she's British? And you're like, yes. I was like, oh.
yeah.
Even though I've seen her play Valkyrie, but the first movie I saw her was the Creed series with, oh my gosh, Michael. Oh no. Everyone's going to just like lose Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger. They're a couple, which is crazy to me, but it's funny because she's also an American in that movie. So
unless she is American and she just has a really good British accent. I don't know. Let's double check this. Let's fact check this. If the people that actually know that are listening are probably freaking out.
I can't believe you don't know what they are. It's like, no, that's why they're actors.
She's an American actress.
Oh my goodness.
She just has a fantastic British accent. Okay.
Ha! She's 40? Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. She looks great. I thought she was... How old is Michael B. Jordan? He's 36. Oh my gosh. Like, I thought maybe she was in her, like, mid-30s. I thought maybe she was a year younger or two than Michael B. Jordan. I didn't know she was old. She looks great. I think it's probably because she hasn't been in the spotlight as long as some of these other people, so
we'll retcon what I had just said about her having an amazing American accent because she's American. She has a fantastic British accent, And that's the accent I guess that I got to know, right? With Thor, Ragnarok, Love and Thunder.
Yeah, she's born in California. Crazy.
That is crazy.
And apparently she's been active in the industry since 2002.
Huh.
But I
don't recognize a single movie.
She just wasn't anything big. Her breakout role was in a lot of I believe these are a lot of BET movies, I'm assuming. So, oh, okay. Yeah. She did have a nomination for a British Academy Film Award, so that's funny. Maybe she's half. I don't know. Anyway, that's shocking. I thought she was like early 30s. She looks great. Freaking great. Wow. I got to start moisturizing my skin. Jeez. I'm getting close to 30 and I'm like, jeez. Whew. Old.
You look good.
Thank you.
You look good for 34.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm shaving it off.
I'm kidding.
I'm shaving the beard off. It's going.
You're gonna look like you're my age. That's gonna be weird.
Hi, Tim. So, Tessa Thompson as Molly.
I think
Chris as Agent H.
I think Tessa did a really good job. But I feel like the role she was given also it's not what I expected from her. I expected a little bit more Valkyrie, I guess, if that makes sense. And that might just be because of the fact that I know her as Valkyrie.
I mean, I think she was pretty Valkyrie, very stubborn, very headstrong.
She was.
So,
but not as intense as I thought it. As I kind of expected.
Well, this wasn't as actiony as we would hope from a Men in Black movie. I was hoping for more.
That's also true.
But back to my side of things, I don't agree that Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson do well together. Or at least they haven't been giving a chance to reach their full potential, because Ragnarok, almost all of their interactions were jokes. That's Infinity true. War, Thor was a recovering from depression, and he talked to her at the very end, and they had a little cute moment about him being queen, but they would always they've turned Chris Hemsworth's Thor into a joke, as we saw with one of the best scenes from Infinity War was Thor is talking to his dead mother. He has gone to the past, talking to her, she's giving him advice, and he's saying goodbye. And he goes, wait. And he reaches out his hand, and Mjolnir comes, and he gets tears in his eyes, and he says, I'm still worthy. One of the best parts of that movie. Get emotional thinking about it. Because that really showed, that summarized right there that that Thor didn't think he was worthy anymore. And that's what I thought. Maybe we were going to get a more serious thing. Because after that, Thor was pretty serious. He was angry that Natasha died. He sees Thanos and everything is snapped. He had snapped back into place. He has his purpose again. He sees Thanos. I'm aiming for the head. I'm killing him properly. This is happening. And gets the awesome beard transition. Loved that so much.
That was awesome.
Oh, fully like that. I was really hoping they were going to keep that beard for the last movie. But no, we got stuck. I don't want to talk. We've talked about Love and Thunder. But the thing is, the interactions between Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth were very jokey. And this movie, they were playing off of Ragnarok's fame, and they thought, oh, we could just have these two be a buddy cop duo. And it just was...
Yeah.
Until one character got introduced, I felt I was completely bored, and I wasn't enjoying the movie till you started enjoying the movie.
Well, I had my phone out until this particular character.
Exactly. And I was like, man, Tim is not enjoying this movie. And then a certain character came in, and it was like, wow. So before that character, though, and everything else, how did you like the movie as a whole?
As a whole, I'd rate it what it was already rated. On IMDb, it's a 5.6, I think.
So we're getting 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm putting it. I'm putting it at like a six,
The second half,
5 or a 6.
the second half kind of saved it. The first half was,
The second half was good. The second half felt like MIB.
yes, you felt like it was actually Men in Black, and you've only seen the first one.
I've only seen the first one. I have had the chance to watch the others, but other things come up so I have to choose, and family comes first.
I think the second one is my favorite. I definitely would recommend the second one to everyone. Third one was cool. I think rating wise, least to best for me is fourth, if we're going to count it with these. And we can. Fine. But fourth, third, first, second.
Second being your favorite.
Yes. Third, and I'm saying that the difference between third and fourth is very high. I actually really loved the third one. I enjoyed it a lot. The villain in that movie, very well written.
You were saying that he's your favorite villain in Men in Black.
He really is. It was the build up for him, the idea of him, and kind of what they did for fun with it. Ooh, it was very well done. And then cross over to this one, and we don't really have a set villain. We don't have a visual villain, really. Well, we think we do.
We kind of do. We have an idea. We
I
have
don't like being
we have
bamboozled.
some semblance of an idea of a villain, but it's very vague, and we don't learn anything about the villain until literally the very end.
And I don't like that. I like knowing this isn't like the Predator movies where you can't see what it is until the end of the movie. We like to know what we're facing. And it was kind of weird that it was very vague. For those of you who haven't seen the newest Men in Black movie,
It is okay.
it is okay.
It is okay. It's not the worst movie we've covered.
No, I think Babylon AD might be the worst one. And I'm just saying, like, if you had asked me to watch, nope, Babylon AD, I don't think I'll ever watch that again. I probably can sit through Love and Thunder every now and then. I really can.
Yeah.
But I have no reason.
I can especially sit through Love and Thunder again, remembering my pitch and your pitch and the changes that we made. I could sit
You know
through it
what?
again.
And I hopefully if we do this, if people enjoy these pitches, then maybe that is what will happen for them in future movies. I'll go, I can probably muscle through this now.
Mm-hmm.
But just Babylon AD, I can't. Nope. Just can't. But this one, really, the first act was very, I don't know, it was very different than, because if we look at the similarities between the first Men in Black and this one, we have these, Will Smith's character is recruited, Tessa Thompson's character finds MIB, which I didn't mind, but I
thought it was kind of fun.
I think
different.
they should have gone with that a little more. I really wish it would have been more of a struggle. I really wish they would have, because this is MIB. I really wish that it wasn't like, how'd she just walk right? Like, she walks into the facility after seeing an alien, hijacking Hubble, finding everything, following MIB to the quarters, and she like knows the alien lingo, goes down and does it. But it just doesn't feel to us that she's actually been studying this. It felt very short-lived, and it felt unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
So I wish we could have seen more of that.
It felt like almost like she thought of something or heard something that she wanted to learn, and over the course of 2 minutes, she had learned it, which, like you said, it doesn't feel very believable. Their scope of time in that movie was very, I feel like they could have done a lot better, at least in the first half.
Yes.
Second half, like we said, I think the second half was a good. It is the second half on its own is a good movie.
Yeah, I still would want to change some things, but for the most part, yeah, if we're looking at it, because Will Smith's character chases an alien, alien says something's coming, gets hired by Agent K, has like a waiting period of coming to his senses, goes in for the training, takes the awesome funny tests, shows that he's different. Then we get the whole situation of him, like the whole like first half of the movie is him, not first, but the first act is like him getting inducted, and that's like 35 minutes. And the second he puts on the glass and he says, you know the difference between you and me? I make this look good. That's when the movie really like, oof. But that first beginning, it felt like we were journeying with Kay. This movie with Molly, I didn't feel the journey. She sees the alien as a little girl. Her parents get neuralized. She doesn't. And she just goes with an obsession. And I wish that we could have maybe seen her in high school. We could have seen her in all this. It just, I think that, what did you call it? Time.
Their scope of time was not very good.
Ugh, I wish. I think that'll probably be the emphasis of this episode is scope of time. We need to relate the audience to the scope of time. In books, it like when at the end of in Endgame when it said 5 years later.
Yeah.
It, even though it's just that little scene, the weight of it, and then them talking about it, having people have different color hair or showing like the difference and talking about things, they did a good job making us be like, it's been 5 years since they lost. And it was that. And also, again, we as the audience have been waiting for a year for this movie to come out. So when that dropped, I remember I was in the front and I just screamed. I don't think I said something very nice because I was like, I was really upset. I was like, you sons, like and because it dropped that after we had been waiting for a year. Like How I Met Your Mother, an example of just a bad ending to the show. The scope of time, something happens to these two characters, like something very happy, and then the season finale, it ends. And it feels like they've only been having this wonderful thing for 10 minutes to us. As soon as the episode starts, it rips it away. And we're like, but we've been building up this entire, so scope of time. Sorry, that was a way ADHD tangent.
No, you're fine.
But the scope of time, I think that you nailed on the head. I've been thinking about what's been bugging me. And I think the scope of time for the first half really, really bugged me. And just the banter. And the stupid banter. Oh!
Yeah. You got to stick to the mood. We've talked about it before, right? You got to stick to your theme and hang on to it. We had talked about that in Love and Thunder, actually. Where it was supposed to be a serious movie and then it ended up being a comedy, but it was also serious at parts. Anyway, this movie
technically it's a comedy.
Technically. This movie didn't feel like Men in Black until we got about halfway to a very specific character.
Until we started really seeing like more aliens, not just in the MIB, but outside of it.
Yeah.
Because inside the MIB, I better see aliens because that's where they go to register. That's where they go to interact. And I thought the world building in other parts of the world were awesome. The train that they used to get to it, I was like, that's really awesome. That's pretty really darn cool. And it's crazy that I kind of believed it. I was like, all right, I think that MIB could have that now. They've probably been working on it. It's been years, and Agent J probably doesn't ever have to go anywhere else because he was busy with that. And before everyone's like, well, I wish Will Smith was in this. Well, I like seeing other parts of the world, and I probably would have just made her character take place in London, which now that we've discovered that she is not British, and everyone's probably laughing at us right now, Tim. Shame on you for laughing at us.
To be fair, like 90% of you guys listening probably also thought she was British because of Thor.
That's true.
So go ahead and laugh, but
we all know
most of you are culpable.
We all know you're stupid too. I'm just kidding. We love you guys. You're not stupid. We are.
You know what I would have done? Because I think the absence of Will Smith also made it feel not like a Men in Black movie. Because he makes Men in Black the Men in Black.
He does.
I would have had a cameo. I would have had maybe him be the one that, maybe he's the one that recruits Molly, or maybe he does some training with Molly, just to help with that scope of time, right? Because I want her to learn if we are doing the New York bit for the first bit and then she moves to London, cool. I would like Will Smith to make a cameo.
I think him repeating, well, they can't have him repeat what Zed used to say, the old the old head of the New York department. Because when Will Smith was inducted, he said, "We are an enigma. We are a mystery. We are the Men in Black." It makes sense that O is the one to do it because she's the new.
Right.
And I'm like, it would be cool if Will Smith did it, but yeah. But I think a cameo would have been cool.
Like we did get a painting, right? There were the two paintings in
what?
In High T's office.
I thought they were both of.
No, the one painting was Will Smith.
It is?
And the other painting was
Nuh-uh.
I may have seen it wrong, but I'm like 90% sure.
Because I just thought it was being very like, oh yeah, there's two oh my gosh.
Right?
That is Will Smith and Kay, and that's the cockroach monster.
Yeah.
That's oh my gosh. I never noticed that. I was like, why are they being so vague and having okay, that's really cool. I didn't even realize that. Thank you, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That could be either the cockroach monster or it is the cockroach monster from the first movie. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Wow, that makes me appreciate that. Then I really want Will Smith to be in that because
yeah,
it's probably these amazing feats. It would have been cool to see other because that was a big threat, and technically they've saved Jay's character has saved it there many times, but I guess that cockroach was such a big deal. But the second villain, she doesn't want to destroy the world. She just wants the light of another planet to destroy that planet. And then the last one, yeah, no, but that first one is like a big major threat. That is so cool, Tim. Sorry, I guess I'm like freaking out now. I'm like, oh, that's cool painting. Why is there two of them? And now I'm like, I didn't realize that was Will Smith because they're so grainy that I was like,
yeah, they were pretty grainy, but that was a detail that I picked up on. I thought that was kind of cool.
I just assumed it was like them. I'm like, why are they shadowed so well? And it wasn't shadowed. It was black. It was Will Smith. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. That's so cool. Oh, anyway, but yeah, I think Will Smith like catching her at the beginning, like, I need you to come with me and talk to somebody. Just
something, anything,
but
a cameo at any point in the first half of the movie. It has to be in the first half of the movie.
You're right. It has to be the first half, like passing the torch, like when he hands her the neuralizer. That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
It would have been a cool thing. Like, and you know, for the induction ceremony is like, and to commemorate you, Agent M, here's our highly decorated hero of the American District, Agent J. And he just like says, "Great, thank you. Good luck out there," and you know, says something all inspiring to her. And I just imagine...
I imagine it being less inspiring and more Will Smith. More just something funny.
Probably something funny. He's like, I guess, you know the good thing about me and you? We make these look good. And like, just like everyone in the audience like, like...
That would be funny.
Because that's what Will Smith would say. So... I don't know. That's coming from a little tiny white boy, so I don't know. But I could totally see him saying that with her, and she'd be like, yeah, that would have been cute. But again, we've talked about this. There is issues with Hollywood, contracts, and sometimes that can make or break a movie. And we understand that. But here we like to talk about the what ifs and the
what it should be.
What it should be. And even just briefly mentioning Agent J at one point, just saying him, being like, Agent J is been reading up on your file, and he definitely approves. Or maybe even at the end of the movie, he's like, "Oh wow, they got to make your painting now."
Or she's going right at the end of the movie. She's going back to New York, right? She could get back to New York, and Agent O could be like, "All right, Jay, you've got a new partner."
Oh, that would have been better. And
That
then it
would
opens up,
be awesome.
and he's like, "All right, time to get a partner that we both make this look good," and something lame like that. And then dun 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 dun, dun and then it just ends.
Yeah.
And then it leaves room for a Men in Black. I would watch Men in Black 5 with Will Smith and Emma Thompson and
Tessa Thompson.
Tessa Thompson. Emma Thompson is, yeah. I just think that if they could have really copied the feel, not copied, but reminisced on the feeling we got of following her through her journey and, you know, mirroring the instances, it would have been cool. Like, because Will Smith holds on to that globe and it burns his fingertips off. That would have been hilarious because she's like, "What is it?" Oh, like just the same thing. And people would have been like, "Oh, that's cheesy." No, that's what happens to them.
Yeah.
It would have been hilarious.
It would be funny, and it would help it all feel more cohesive as one whole, right? Because it just feels so separate for the first, at least for the first half of the movie.
You know, they could have done the scene with the cardboard cutouts of all the aliens, and she also was like, "I wanted to shoot the little girl, but that just feels wrong." But she's the only one that's like an issue. Why does she have all those, like, just points out the same thing, and they're like, okay. But that's one of my favorite scenes. Just shoots it, or when Will or Agent J pulls the table across.
Yeah.
And they're all struggling to write. Like, just things like that. It was such a good build-up to show what was unique. And I guess her uniqueness is that she was ready to learn. She was ready to be a part of it. But
She wanted to be.
she wanted it. Will Smith didn't. It was thrust upon him. She said, "I want it. I'm going to find it." And I wish that we could have really seen the similarities, but the end results of her, instead of, you know, because Will Smith has to give up his life.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Is it worth it?" And he's like, "Definitely." Like, when he's asking Kay if it's worth it, it's just a big thing because he's like, "Oh." But for her, she was like, "This life isn't worth it. I want this." And I really like the different. I keep hitting the mouse. I'm sorry, everybody. Just punch it. Oh. But yeah, I just think that if we would have followed her journey better with the opening, it would have been great. And nope, I think Will Smith at the end would have been the perfect way to end the movie.
I agree.
Now I'm like imagining, like, even like a deleted scene of her like just stepping off the train in New York, and she'd be like, "Well, time for you to get ready for your first mission in New York. Ready to meet your new partner? You're both heroes now." And he's like, "So when are you going to get your painting up?" And like puts his glasses on, and you're like, "Oh, I would die. I'm dying now." That's what I'm imagining. I want it.
Even an elevator scene where he's like, first day, you know,
Or like
something
steps on,
cheesy.
or like she's talking with on the elevator. She's like, "So who am I going to be stuck with?" Like, she's like, "Oh, I think I have the perfect person for you." And he's not very good at holding on to. Oh, but that would like assume that Kay's gone. No.
I mean,
no. I don't know. Do I want a fifth movie with Kay before Tommy Lee Jones pass away? Or do I just want this? Or maybe Kay just retires and he could just be a cameo in this new movie. I really want a fifth Men in Black now. You made me really excited, but it's never going to happen because this one didn't do good. I don't know why. It's like, Will Smith, you love this character. And I know Will Smith really isn't doing that great in The Socialite right now, but
he's still a good actor.
he's still a good actor.
I
I think his wife. Nope, we're not going to get political. Nope.
we don't need to get political.
Ooh,
I don't care to a point.
To a point.
What celebrities do in their free time. I don't care about all the politics. If they're a good actor or actress, that's good enough for me. If they can play the part, if they can make the part feel real and feel connectable and cohesive, It's good enough for me.
He probably was asking an insane amount of money, but guess what? You put Will Smith in that movie, it's gonna make bank.
That's true.
Again, I would watch that, and that's why I think people were so upset about this. They're like, ooh, and I'm nervous they would maybe ruin his character. I don't know. I mean, we all were pretty excited for The Last Jedi.
No.
Tim, you don't need to cry. It's
We'll
okay. All right, I think that's the end of the episode. Good night, everybody. I'm just kidding.
I'll hit the other Star Wars episodes later.
Oh, but now, man, I want a fifth one now. I want a fifth one so bad. All right, we've talked about her getting the meet and greet, becoming MIB. It would have been funny for her to go on like a starter mission before going to London to show her what her chops, to show if she's got the chops. Because this whole time she's like a probationary thing, and it's like, hold on a second.
When you're on probation, you don't go on vacation.
Yeah, you don't go on crazy missions all the way to London. That's what bugged me. I wish she wouldn't have been a probation. I wish she would have been like, this is important. You've chosen your worth. Because Jay he probably was trading for maybe a month or two. And again, we get a good time lapse. It would have worked.
I would have liked a time lapse of some sort, even a narrated time lapse by the man himself.
Nah. No, I think Emma Thompson doing it would have been great.
Or over a time lapse while Emma Thompson's having a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something to give us a scope to say, okay, yeah, she took the time and effort to get to that point, rather than, all right, you figured out what we are. Your home life is super depressing.
Yeah, that was kind of annoying.
Your probation, you're a probationary officer now.
And I just didn't like that, because it's like, if she's this dedicated, she can prove herself. Her first official mission should have been to go on out, because like London needs your help. She's like, I have a feeling about London, and the reason why she was picked is because she found MIB by herself. This woman can sort out if there's something going on. So I wish that they could have showed her on a few missions, or maybe sniffing out stuff, or catching a few things, like just doing something cool. Like maybe the first mission for her to like really see a aggressive alien would have been a good scene to add, like for 15 minutes.
It could have been a Jababian, right?
Oh.
And then she could get
and that
knowledge about it.
Connected it to London. Like, I heard your royal party's coming in, like, because one off. But that means they probably would have had to have another MIB. They could have had Will Arnett be it, because Will Arnett was briefly in he's Lego Batman voice. Yeah. He was briefly in the third one. I think that would have been funny if he was in that one again, and he does a brief mission.
A couple cameos would have been fun.
Yeah, like they had Frank the Pug, which was surprising. Mm-hmm. Frank wasn't in the third movie at all. The only cameo you see of him is a painting, because I think the original actor died. I don't know. And the worms made me laugh so hard. I was like, aw, I wish we could have gotten more. And I know they're trying to be like, oh, here's the brand new. It's like, no. We've talked about this. When you're working with stuff, keep the feel of it to a degree, and reward audiences with that. But keep that feel. Those worms definitely keep the feel of the movie. They're hilarious. They weren't really in the third movie, I will admit that, but there were a few things about that third movie that made me go, okay, this is Men in Black. This is pretty cool. And it had some very heartfelt scenes. It is definitely one of my favorite interpretations of what miracles we are, because we are all products of millions and millions of choices, stretching all the way back millennia of years, just years. Choices are what bring us. You, Tim, are a product of thousands upon thousands of choices, and now you're here making your own choices. And that it's just, I love the third one. I really do. I love these first three, but this one is the little brother that you're like, you just hold on to the controller and you're playing, but you're not really connected. You know what I mean?
No, I that is an image that I can see, because when I was younger, right, we had Nintendo GameCube.
Yeah.
Right? and it's a corded controller. It's the best console. Zach, you can shut up. It's the best console. Anyway, the cord plugs in.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the same thing with like the original Xbox. I grew up with that too. But like, I was evil when I was younger, and when I wanted to play games alone, my mom was like, "Hey, you got to play with your brothers." I would unplug their controller, and then I'd play my game, and I'd be like, "See, he's playing." And I did it with my little cousins too, so that they could feel included. Right? I'd play Mario Kart, right, with my brothers and my cousins, when we'd have family gatherings at my grandparents' house. And when the little cousins that have no idea what they're doing, when they want to join in, they want to be a part of whatever it is, I'd hand them a controller that's not plugged in, and we'd keep playing, and they'd feel included.
They're just happy they're there.
Right.
So that's how I see this
movie feels. That is how this movie felt. And I guess to stick with the analogy, I think when that one specific character comes in, it's finally like, all right, we can plug in your controller.
You can start playing now. I honestly, really, because even with the introduction of Chris Hemsworth character, Agent H, I just was like, because now watching this movie, and I'm kind of going to skip to the end because it turns out he was neuralized for some reason. Did the neuralization have an effect? Because now he's apparently more... Because everyone was saying like, oh, back in your day, you were like the best, and now you've changed. But we've only seen him. We saw him very briefly at the beginning of the movie with High T to go stop the hive, the alien threat that there was coming, and then 3 years later, bam. But the only Chris Hemsworth we've known is this cocky, stupid Thor Love and Thunder version, which I can't stand. I don't like when Chris Hemsworth goes like this. He was not made to be a comedian. Extraction on Netflix, holy crap. If we could have a Thor with that attitude, his anger and aggression, if that could have been... Oh, we're not going to talk about Love and Thunder, but now that I just see his face, I just am like, oh, I can't stand it. The only funny thing that I liked about that was the Hammer cameo.
That was really funny.
Chris Hemsworth,
was awesome.
Agent H is fighting this big blue alien, and the dude is, and it's huge. He's in a suit. The alien is throwing him around, beating him up, and Chris Hemsworth is near a barge, and they have like wooden hammers, to make boats, and he sees this little hammer, like no bigger than...
It's a regular hammer.
Yeah, and he reaches for it, and then he reaches for it like he's calling Mjolnir, and then inches forward and grabs it, stands up. And that's the only thing I didn't like, is he says something before throwing it. If I would have done it, he would have like reached out, like the camera would have looked, he would have looked up, reached like it was Thor, and then it would have shown him grabbing the hammer and just hucking it at the alien from the ground.
And maybe holding his hand out.
And holding his hand out.
To try to pull it back.
Or like something, like briefly, just throws it all epic like Thor, and the alien catches it midair. Like, just does it from the floor. Because he's supposed to be an agent. He's supposed to be able to interact and just fling stuff. But instead, he like stands up, like, oh, how are the turntables? Yeah, because of that, you should have thrown it before he was looking at it. Because then he just... Anyway.
It was a really fun cameo, though.
It was.
I liked it.
And it does stink because they spoiled it and showed it in the trailers, and it annoyed me.
Oh,
they did. It was like...
I didn't ever watch the trailers.
You're lucky because it was spoiled beforehand, but it was fun watching you. I was like watching, and Tim's like, nuh-uh. And he stands up with the hammer, and Tim's like, yeah! But it was funny, but not executed. It wasn't... The ending of the joke wasn't executed right.
The punchline wasn't told right.
The punchline was deflected, and a sucker punch came, and it made me sad. It was Depresso Espresso. But still, the bumbling idiot. All we've seen is this. Time, what do you call it? Scope of time. Scope of time. The scope of time is not there.
I I would be okay with it, right? With if in that first scene where he's facing off against the Hive with High T, I would have liked to see a little bit more of the serious reactions and the serious Agent H for a bit, and then we can play on the you've changed, right? He's different, and then something snaps, and he goes back to being the agent that he was, and people are like, that's the H that I know.
Well,
something like that.
Well, what we're seeing now, for me, it makes me believe that he was never good. It made me think that spoiler alert, that High T neuralized him and made everyone believe he was a good guy, but he really wasn't that good of an agent. That would have been hilarious. But turns out at the end, oh my gosh, he actually was good. But I still don't believe it near the end of the movie. I'm like, this is not. And also, are they trying to, I believe also they were trying to say that his love interest, the literal.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, it's out.
Excuse me.
The literal arms dealer. I love how she had 3 arms. And
I thought that was clever.
I was like, that's funny. But that love interest apparently is. I don't know if they were implying that also messed him up, because that was during the time of him. I don't know. That's what bugs me, is the scope of time for this movie. It's like, okay, so you had a love interest, but you weren't. Was this before the Hive? Was this after? Like, I don't know. And it's. It was weird. It was weird, and I think you talking about scope on the time really made me go, that's what we're missing. The scope of time and the aspects of this movie. Because it's hard for me to believe. I only see Agent H as an idiot. Maybe the one scene that made me go, okay, this is pretty cool, is when they're fighting the dancing twins. Oh gosh, I can't believe they got them for this movie. Because watching it now, I'm like, this is not relevant. These two are never going to be in a movie again. And I'm glad you thought it was cool to be like, we're going to get the winners of whatever. It's not So You Think You Can Dance, but one of them. They were the winners of a dance competition for the whole world, whatever. Anyway, but the scene where he's fighting those aliens, which they looked amazing, and he's pulling out all the weapons from the car, telling her to grab stuff. That was cool. I was like, that feels cool. Like Men in Black. Mm-hmm. But everything else about him, I was like, his Jababian friend, I was like, oh, this is annoying. And I wish they didn't make him so horny. Because he was he's like, I need to talk to you. And he never, scope of time and seriousness need to be more present. Because Agent H was just a joke on screen all the time. Mm-hmm. Like Thor, anyway.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. The concept, I did like the concept that him being neuralized changed him. I did like that, the concept. The execution of said concept was poor.
Exactly.
But if they could have done it differently, if they could have said, okay, how about this? We're going to take... Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, the first 10 minutes of the movie, 5 to 10 minutes of the movie can be that first bit instead of, what was it, 2.5?
Yeah.
Where facing off against the Hive, and Agent H has to make a bunch of sacrifices, and he's doing so well at being an agent, and then we can see that for a good amount of time and maybe connect with him and connect his character with the ideal of the agent, of the agency, right? Being a good agent, being their number one, tying it together. And then we see just a bunch of people keep saying, you've changed. What happened with the Hive? You've changed. You were awesome once. Now you're subpar. What happened? And all he can do is say, I'm just me.
It's just who I am. Mm-hmm. I think I wouldn't have that at the beginning of the movie. I would have it. I would have it when I would just focus on the first act is about Molly becoming Agent M. Mm-hmm. Agent M gets brought to London, and is talking. Maybe she's talking with that one alien with the glasses, who's the immigrant, the descendant of the aliens who came on the first portal, because the Eiffel Tower was where the first portal was opened and where the first great alien migration came in. So it was kind of a play on, the great times when people would arrive to New York sort of thing. I like that. I was like, that's kind of cool. At least they arrived through portal. Like of course, aliens have been visiting Earth way before then, but this was the first, like, people are coming. It's a great migration, just like in New York. Loved it. I really did. Love that feel. And I wish they would have kind of went on it. And he could have talked about, because when she gets introduced, she's like, so what's going on here? And they're talking about the Eiffel Tower, and maybe that painting of them stopping the hive is there. He's like, oh, IT and Agent H went in with just their wits and their Series S Neuralite, like whatever the line they kept repeating. They just start saying that. But then that's when we get the flashback and we can see him kind of narrating, and like they went up to the tower, and it would have been cool if that couple that was proposing, if both of them turned into hive creatures when they turn around. Like, you two have a great, like they tell them like, so what's your answer? And they both go, yes. And then they both turn into hive creatures. Okay. And that's when the fight goes, and we see like all these security guards turning into the hive. And there we get a concrete look of what they are. Mm-hmm. And then and they're surrounded by the aliens, and they turn and they pull their gun out, and then the story ends. And they got out of there with just they were surrounded, and they got out with just their wits and their blah, blah, blah. And that's the end. We don't get to see really an action sequence, but we get to see
kind of the build-up.
We get to see how build-up. Maybe they fire a few shots, whatever, but something like that. And just kind of emphasizing, and maybe having Chris Hemsworth's character really have a strong tone while he's talking with them. Maybe a sassy remark to one of the hive members who talks to them, and then it goes away and cuts, and it kind of leaves us going, well, that's cool. So, but what actually happened? And that would have been a cool question for us to keep going. And then every time they ask it, they always say that line, we stopped them with their wits. And I did like that because it felt wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it kind of subconsciously gave us the question, okay, but how?
What happened?
How?
Well, anyway, we had a short break. We had a little potty break. Sorry, everybody.
Intermission,
you might say. But still, with how they did Agent H, it just felt like he was stupid the whole time. Nothing was serious to him, and I get it. That was fine, but my questions are, did the neuralizer cause him to do that? Did his love interest do that? Or was he just never that good? It brought so many questions that made me doubt this movie. Mm-hmm. So now that we've talked about the hive, we probably should talk about our quote-unquote antagonists of the movie. The twins.
Yeah.
Did you like them?
I thought it was interesting. I think they could have done it better. I don't know how, but I thought it was interesting. I liked them being pretty enigmatic, not understanding exactly like what they are or where they come from. But at the same time, they're the Men in Black.
They should know this.
They should know. They should know what these aliens are, what kind of creatures they
Especially Agent H. The second they first so these guys look like walking nebulas. They're really cool.
The design is something that I would imagine.
Again, don't get any ideas. You stop.
Oh no, I was literally about to say their design is something I am imagining for like a Dungeons and Dragons character.
They were pretty terrifying, and I would be there. It's a walking nebula, and they could walk up to this table and change its matter. They can walk up to anything, and they literally melt. So we are, as the audience, think that they are part of the hive. And Agent and High T, who, spoilers, has been possessed by taken over.
He's become one with the hive.
He's become one with the hive.
The hive killed him basically and took him over.
They took him over, and they're using him to centrifuge to get this massive weapon
Subterfuge, not centrifuge.
What did I say? Centrifuge? Thank you.
Subterfuge.
Subterfuge.
We're not spinning them super fast.
No, centrifuge. We're doing a centrifuge. The face starts melting. That's 5 G's right there. Any? What is it? Centrifuge? No.
Subterfuge.
Subterfuge. I might be 28, but I'm not smart. I don't know big words. People talk with big words. I'm like, oh, you're so fat. You think you're better than me?
Oh, just my wife has a list of some really good, really big words, and it's terrifying.
I feel like people learn big words just to pull them out like Uno cards. Be like, and I'm like, it's basic English. Calm down. Like, oh, the soliloquy that you speak is amazing. I know that's not how that works. I know that's wrong, but that's what it sounds like. Habbity bibbity boobity bobbity. It's like, I don't care what you just said. You don't seem that fancy. You can wear that fancy tuxedo all you want, but you're still stupid. Anyway. Do you know how to write a paycheck? No? All right, then shut up.
Hippity hoppity. Big words, get off my property.
Bibbity boppity, you are now property.
That's what the Hive said to these guys.
That's what the Hive says. Bibbity bop, you are now in this. I almost said a bad word. Never mind. I don't know what I was going with. Bippity buck. I'm just kidding.
Moving on.
Moving right along. Oh, so. So when they get taken over, they turn into these grotesque, tentacly monsters. Like, look like they have a lot of carapace. Their face is covered. They're really cool. I liked them.
The design is.
I wish I would have seen more. That's why I think that flashback would have been cool, and maybe even once in a while.
It helped break up the movie and make it feel like, okay, there is something going on.
Yeah, like just to introduce the Hive, and then the screen goes white, and then maybe at the club. I think that the first interaction with the twins at the club, we could have been like, oh, maybe they are part of the Hive. But then on the streets of Laredo, where were they at?
Marrakesh.
When they're in Marrakesh, it would have been cool if the biker or the guy who's fixing the bike or anyone would have just turned into one of them. Just turned into a hive mind, and then they attack the Nebula. And the 2 Nebula guys confirmed that we're not with the Hive. Like, that would have been a cool twist. To have been like, what? And then, the arms dealer still gets
I would have liked it to be more. I liked how it was.
So you liked that they kind of were like, we will do anything for our
I think their last lines should have been something more to the effect of I guess something more to the effect of we would do anything to protect our world from the Hive.
That's why I think that because again, during the actual movie, we are meant to believe that these 2 Nebula twins are working with the Hive. They are connected to the Hive, even though they do not look like the Hive monsters, which we briefly saw. So that's why, anyway, we'll get to that. We'll go back to that. But near the end of the movie, they get this weapon back from an arms dealer, and they are cornered by them. And, Agent M says to them, we will do anything to protect Earth, to protect our planet. And the 2 Nebula brothers go, so will we. And then a bunch of MIB agents come and zap them and kill them with a certain frequency. And then we're like, oh, okay, I guess they were part of the Hive. And I wish if they would have gone with that, maybe they could have stuck it better. But because they briefly showed what the Hive looked like, it made me go, I don't believe it. If we never saw what the Hive looked like, then fine.
Well, I think...
But they showed what the aliens were.
They did say that those possessed by the Hive... They didn't say it, but they alluded to the fact that those possessed by the Hive are able to hold their original form.
I just don't think that...
If they'd made that explicitly clear earlier, I think it would have been better.
See, I think those Nebula boys might be too hard for the mind, for the Hive to control. So maybe that's why they are at war with them.
Mm.
And that's why the Hive doesn't like them, because they could also be a Hive-ish singularity. Because of how they correspond and danced, it was clear that they were. And it could have been cool if it's like, when they finally see what they are, it's revealed that, oh, this is another alien race who are very similar to a hive mind. They are individuals, but they can work together. They can be in sync, and they love to correlate. They're very known for their smooth movements, and their Nebula dances are renowned, but they are a very aggressive race and do not take kindly to those of solid matter. Like something like that, because they literally are like clouds. And it would have been cool. I think that to really base, like, because in Men in Black, you have a villain from beginning to end. You have a set villain. You know who the villain is. And that's probably why this movie, they were like, here's the villain, but you should have. And maybe that's why we probably should stick with yours of seeing the Hive at the beginning. But I like to have a face. MIB likes to have a face, or they like to show us it. So the sooner they show us the actual face of the villains, the better. I don't know.
No,
something like that.
I agree.
All right, Tim, I guess it's now time for the big part. Your favorite part.
Okay, so I just have to preface this. Kumail Nanjiani is a really good actor.
He's funny.
He is hilarious.
Very good. I've loved everything he's in. Mm-hmm. Kind of.
In this movie, he plays a little character who is essentially, his race is an alien race of chess pieces. And they have a queen, they have pawns, they have all their pieces, right? And he plays Pawnee, who is a pawn,
the last survivor
without a queen.
Yep.
And just some of the interactions that he has with the other characters is hilarious, and it helps it feel funny in an MIB way.
He is sense. The perfect Frank. Like he is he is a good replacement for Frank. Mm-hmm. He is the comic relief. He's good. It was funny because aliens can see Earth and it's very strange to them, and so their mannerisms are different. And so for this sassy pawn to be like, to question stuff sometimes that they say, or he's like, because he becomes a subject she's Agent M now. To Agent M, she's an agent. She has this title. I honestly did love the little part where it was like, are you a queen? She's like, well, in a way, all women are queens. I was like, I like that. I love that. I was like, funny. I like that. That's funny. All women are queens if she breathes. Anyway,
You beat me to it by half a second.
Anyway, if you don't know that meme, fine. If you do, we'll see you outside. Anyway. So yeah, Pawnee though, great character, brought a lot of funniness to it, and I love that he saved her. It might be cheesy, but it was super cute. I'm not losing.
I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was fun
because he lost one queen, and oof.
And I really liked his obsessions. Right, mostly his obsession with the big red button.
Push the red button. That was awesome.
But he's also, I don't know, he doesn't play much of an actual part in the movie.
Oh, he's comic relief. It's like Frank the dog. Frank doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, but he makes it feel like Men in Black.
He does. You got to have an alien.
It's an alien, right? Exactly. He's an alien as part of their, for lack of a better phrase, D&D party.
Yeah.
Because that's what they are. They're a D&D party now.
Because in the first movie, you interact with a lot of different aliens. Like when he gets Frank the first time and starts shaking him, where is he? And it's like, the dog owes him money. Like that part was so good. Or they just keep having interactions with aliens. Oh, the little tiny aliens in the mech suits. Oh, anyway. Orion's belt. Anyway, I love Men in Black. I really do. I need to buy them. I enjoy these movies a lot. I've been alive for, I don't remember the first one coming out, but I've been around for all the rest. And anyway, but I think what we've done so far with it is great. And so you would have kept Pawnee.
Oh, absolutely.
So would you have tried to introduce him later, or do you think it was a good...
I think a little bit earlier. I would have sped things up with Molly's thing, I think. Because, honestly, I was on my phone for most of the movie until Pawnee showed up, because Kumail Nanjiani's freaking hilarious.
Well, even when Pawnee... Sorry, you go.
No, you're fine. But that part of the movie is where we started to see, okay, this feels like Men in Black. They're chasing down an alien. They're trying to figure out this alien tech, right? And they're just a bunch of different things just made it feel a little bit more Men in Black.
So
at that point,
Pawnee gets introduced by the two twins walking into this store in that country. Is that where you would say the movie actually kind of got meat and bones?
No, I'm talking about when
it really is him joining the party.
That.
Okay.
That.
Because when we first see him, we kind of get this part where the two twins want this technology to help assassinate the
Jababian.
Mungus or whatever. Mm-hmm. They wanted to Vungus. They wanted to kill Vungus to get the weapon, because again, I'm assuming these aliens wanted it to take out the hive. Which, if it would have kept that vague, I honestly would have had that scene pretty much the same, except have Chris Hemsworth's character be a little more serious, try to listen to him, and not try to pimp him out to her, and not be so obscene. It was so annoying, and it was like, because all of a sudden the mood just drops, because they're being funny. Vungus grabs him. I need to talk to you. And it was like, where did that come from? That was at the drop of a hat. Have you been clubbing all night? Are you tired? Why is the feel just drop like that? And it was annoying to me. I was like, ugh.
Or even having Agent H be all loosey-goosey, but have Vungus be trying.
Yeah, the whole Vungus is trying to, like, no, I don't, like, of course, like, yeah, it would be fine. Like, well, what about Agent M? You like her? And he like, looks her up and down. Yeah, she's not, no, yeah, so we'll go dance with her. And she's like, no, really not dance. And he's like, no, H, I need to talk to you. And that would have been nice. But for Vungus to be silly, loosey-goosey, and then drop of a hat get serious.
Yeah.
I think Vungus being serious after they really maybe sit down, because it just out of nowhere just feels like it just at the drop of a hat, it just grabs him. It's like, I need to talk to you. And it's like, what? And it would have been nice for him to actually talk with her, and she actually gets a little connection with Vungus, instead of it like, he's like, we don't really have to dance. I do more enjoy talking with people. And they're like,
go back earlier with my idea where her first mission, right, has to do with a Jababian of some sort. And maybe she asks him, do you know this guy?
Yeah, she's like, I met a Jababian once. I learned that you guys have a tell when you're lying. And he goes, oh, and like calls it, maybe that's how she knows all about the Jababian, instead of lying about it. Yes. And then that gets a conversation going. He's like, she's like, so why are you really here? Oh, maybe she'd be like, so why are you really here? And he's like, what do you mean? Well, I met a Jababian a couple weeks ago, and he seemed very, very desperate to leave the planet, but he knew you were coming. So why are you here, Your Majesty? And he goes, oh, it's nothing. And then the arms start glowing. He's like, I learned something with this Jababian, is that you guys have a tell when you're lying. And he looks down at his arms and he hides them behind his back. He's like, I need to talk to Agent H. And like brushes her off and goes like, that would, ooh, Tim, you're a smart cookie.
I think it would work.
I think it would work.
It would have fixed that part. It would have made it feel a little bit better.
And just get rid of the dancing. Ugh. With the two twins. I don't know. It was kind of cool, but again, it's just kind of cringy now. It's been 10 years since this movie, and it's like, not 10. Whoa, not 10 years. So sorry. 10 years, like 11 years ago was the other one. Or was I in junior high when that one came out? Anyway. So, but with that being said, that would have been cool for them to do the little dance, whatever. And as he's really getting H's attention finally, that's when it goes into his neck. And I hated that it was like, oh, get him out of here. He just had too much to drink, whatever. It's like, H, he hasn't drank anything. You haven't done anything. He's passing out in front of you. This is like, it was so...
Yeah.
I was so shocked. Like, the mother trucker just drops in front of you. He was fine talking to M, runs up to you, desperately says, I need to talk to you, and then passes out, and he just ignored it. And I was like, is Agent H in on it? Like, that's, again, they didn't set him up very well. I wanted to strangle him so bad, no matter how pretty he is. Ugh. Oh. Okay, I'm glad I got that. That scene really bugged me.
I think we fixed it.
I think we did. I think we did. So I still think, would you want them showing the death of Pawnee's fellow chess pieces? Or did you like how
I liked it the way it was.
Okay.
I liked it the way that it was. I would have liked a little bit more of an explanation of who, because there was no explanation of who. It was just, they were dead.
So
and it's inferred that it was it was the twins, the Nebula people. It's inferred.
It definitely could have been the Hive because they weren't melted like the cashier. So,
exactly. So I don't know. I feel like a better explanation. Oh, the twins showed up and decided our use was done, or something like that. Or maybe it could be something else. Maybe
the shop owner could have been.
I'm thinking maybe Pawnee thought it was an MIB agent.
Oh, we could have had
and
another.
It could have been T.
We could have had another MIB agent come in, and that agent's part of Hive too. No. Only one agent. They only needed one agent.
Just Agent T.
To be
That's
a
all
part
they
of
needed.
I think that maybe, though, the shopkeeper could have become infected by the Hive and just watching.
Maybe.
Because I think that the Hive, to show, like, they are slowly spreading.
Yeah.
Because Agent T's been there. Maybe he's been infecting other agents. Maybe he's been... And that could be the scary thing, is that you don't know who it is, and that's what could have been the suspense of this movie, is who is the mole? How many moles are there? There could be many, because we don't really know how they work. Do you have to be stabbed through? Do you have to be touched by the main brain? It never was very clear about that, so it would have been cool if... Actually, no, I kind of like your idea of... I thought it was Agent, one of you guys, but I didn't get a good look at it. I don't know, because I feel like Agent T would just be chilling back there.
Yeah. I don't know. Some explanation of who.
Some explanation of who did, like confirming. Because I feel like if it was the twins, it should have showed them melted. Uh-huh. And I really didn't like how the queen was like, and he's like, my queen, I'll stab through. That was the one scene with Pawnee. I was like, that was lame.
It was really funny, though. It was so dramatic.
I don't...
In a Kamal Nanjiani way, it was so hilariously dramatic.
I'm going to do it. Here I go. I'm gonna do it. Let's see if he does it. No, stop it. Like it was like Anna with Kristoff. Like,
Yep.
I'm gonna tell him, don't you dare. But in this time, I'm gonna see him do it. No, you don't need to kill yourself. Like, yeah. I like that. I do like that. So, I guess.
But I do agree the part about the queen. I think maybe she speaks to them.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like I just feel like she needed it just felt so bland. Her death felt so bland. I would have liked maybe she says something
smart, like don't trust the
don't
whatever
trust,
the twins are. She's
or
like,
don't trust them, and then dies. And then it's like, who's them?
Who's them? What is it? What happened? Or just she understands, like, just kind of drops, like was it those brothers? And she's like, yes, it was, like, just something, and then just hints that they hate the Hive, just like somehow drops it somewhere. Because I really think it would be cool to have this rivalry between this Nebula people and the Hive. Yeah. The Nebula people just want to kill the Hive. They don't really care about conquering, but they don't really care for anything else. They'll destroy Earth if they need to. Like, we can't let you destroy Earth. Like, well, the Hive is here. So I think it would have been cool if the Hive was already, if he had been here and it was hiding somewhere. Don't know how, but because it just wanted that weapon to just... I don't even know why they wanted that weapon.
They wanted it to... They basically to protect themselves from the Hive.
Oh, I meant, why did the Hive want that weapon?
Why did the Hive want it? I don't know.
Or did they were just like, oh, this is a weapon that could destroy us? And no, because they say that Agent T knew that I don't know. It's so weird to me. Again, this is why it's so weird, because it feels like, oh, this weapon came. Did they know the Hive was coming? Did someone ask for the weapon to be brought? Is that why the royal family sent him there? Were they going to make a trade with those brothers? Was it going to be with another alien race? Like, there's so many things. Like we've heard rumors that the Hive was coming to Earth. And it's like, well, the Hive was defeated. And they're like, no, the Hive is not gone. Like, it would have been cool to, like, slowly, like, maybe that would have been Mungus's last words. Like, the Hive is dead. They're not dead. Don't trust anyone, especially H. He's different. And, like, seeding sows of doubt in her head about H. It would have been cool. Like, the idea that anyone could have been a mole except for M, we're like, oh, she shouldn't be trusting nobody. Like, that would have been cool. Even Pawnee, she's like just hesitant, like a wave of, like, who is it? Who done it? Like, who'd have done it? Who killed the butler? And then at the end, surprise, it's Agent T. Like, that would have been, I don't know, just a lot of things like that.
I kind of saw that coming, because it's Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Like,
well, did you really see it, or after the twins died?
I felt something was off about
Agent T
from, like, the very beginning.
Because it's Liam Neeson.
It's just Liam Neeson. It's the kind of character
he's either good or he's bad. There's no in between.
And if he's good, it's very clear, like with Qui-Gon. And if it's bad, then you're not 100% sure.
Because,
like in Batman,
Ra's al Ghul, man, he was a really good Ra's al Ghul. I don't care.
He was really good.
Very well done. One of my favorite takes of him. Anyway, we're not here to talk about how awesome. And you know, Liam is short for William.
Is it?
Yep, Liam, Liam, William. It's a Scottish name. Well, it's a European name, but still.
My cousin's name is Liam, and it's just Liam.
Yeah, originally, but his full name is, I believe, William Neeson, but he goes by Liam.
Huh.
So Liam is if you know a Liam, originally that name came from William. Anyway.
Interesting. I mean, it makes sense.
It's connected to my name to some degree. I'm the Danish version, so. Anyway, I guess we need to talk about probably the scene that I was like, this is like, I I didn't really like the the arms dealer scene. I honestly feel like that could have just been all scrapped entirely.
I
That's my opinion.
I liked it. I think they could have done better. Done something different to make it feel less. I don't know. I would have liked the arms dealer herself to look not human.
Something more, adding a little more. Maybe her skin changed.
I liked the arms.
She only has 3.
I liked the third arm. I thought that was clever.
And it made me laugh because I'm like, are they not going to drop an arms dealer? Like, it would have been funny if
They should have arms dealer joke.
like Agent
Bonnie.
M should have been like, even Agent M should have been like, she's a arms dealer. She has an extra arm. That's fun.
That seems
And
like a Pawnee joke.
I do, but I just imagine her doing that, just laughing like, oh, an arms dealer. And you just see Chris just like, Agent H, like, no, don't bring up the arm. Bam! And she just gets sucker punched by the third arm, and she immediately turns around and punches Agent H2, and she's like, I'm sensitive about it, or something stupid like that. You're like, oh gosh.
But no, I think
No, actually,
her looking different, not being human would have been better.
okay, but no, you're right, Bonnie. He's in the jars of peace offering, and she takes it with the third arm. Oh my gosh, an arms dealer! Like, as she's taking away, that's hilarious. That's really good. Did you just go with it because of the arm, or why'd you do it? And she's like, oh, I love him already. Like, just something clever. Like, oh, he's adorable in his stupid way, and like just looking at him. Yeah, I wish she didn't look so human, or there
Like,
was something
The
that
semblance is there. I do like the idea.
Well, there are some aliens. I guess you haven't seen the second and third. They really do emphasize that there are some very humanoid aliens. There's a joke in the third movie that a lot of models are aliens, because they're just super tall, lanky, skinny, and I don't know if you've ever seen models from the 60s, but they were very grossly skinny. Well, yes, because we had just come out of the 40s and 50s where women were curvy and they liked that because Marilyn Monroe. Anyway, we're not here to talk about women's bodies, except the only woman's body is the one with the third arm. I
think maybe like a reddish skin.
Maybe when she gets angry,
maybe a couple horns or something on the side of her head, or maybe on her arms.
something
A
brief.
couple spikes.
Or she can just shed the disguise the more angry, because some aliens can just chameleon it and just hide it like Stitch. You just hear like a gross popping noise and like that's when the arm like pops out and it's a different color, and then she changes the color. I don't know. You're right, but honestly, I don't mind it. I don't know. I wouldn't have had them be a love interest. I would have I don't know. It just felt. Again, it made me go, so was he a bad person before? Why'd he fall in love? It was too far into the movie, and it was not built enough. The scope of time. Again, the scope of time is the biggest enemy for this movie. It's like, I don't have any connection. I don't care about this character. I just want to know that. So that's why, for me, I would have scrapped the arms dealer, or maybe they don't even mention her at all. They don't mention it. They don't mention the love interest at all. And it gets stolen. And he goes, oh, no. She's like, what? We have to go. Was it Milan? Milan?
No, it was Riza.
Riza?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Anyway, Morocco? No?
Oh, are you talking about the place?
The
It
place.
was Italy.
Italy, sorry. I was talking about the place. What was her name?
Her name was Riza. I
Thank
thought
you,
you were
good job.
trying to figure out her name.
No, but good job. You look at claps for Tim for like memorizing. This is why for this movie I was like, I honestly can only remember like 5 characters. I put 4 fingers up, but you get the point. It was in Italy. Yeah, sorry, it was in Italy.
I'm pretty good at memorizing characters because of
You have to
Brandon
make up
Sanderson.
your never
No,
mind.
Brandon Sanderson. Read. You've read Stormlight.
Dude, I will get Sazed and all these other characters, and I'll just call one person Sazed because that's just the archetype for half of his books. I'm like, the Sazed character, who? The Sazed one, whatever.
Yeah.
Or the Kaladin
Fair.
character, I don't care.
Fair.
So it's honestly, and there's so many characters. If you talk to them, it'll click in my head. I'll go, oh, I remember faces. I don't remember names.
I remember names. I remember faces. I don't put them together.
I know people's names if I connect them in some way. Just like how I met this weird short guy at church volleyball, and I called him Tiny Tim once, and it stuck. So yeah.
Gee, I wonder who that weirdo
Yeah, I
was.
wonder who he is. Oh. And then like a month later, he's like, I'm engaged. And I was like, oh, not Tiny Tim. Anyway.
It was like 2 months after I met you.
Fine. Still, though, it was a shock. I was like, oh, what? I didn't even know there was an option on the table. I didn't know you were dating someone. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Neither did I until... Just kidding.
Oh, yeah, I wish that's what... Oh.
No. Anyway.
Oh, so, but yeah, for me, the arms dealer thing and the connection to her, and that was the big bodyguard I mentioned before with the hammer scene. Turns out he was... I don't even want to talk about it. I did not like that part at all. You can talk about it. You go ahead.
You mean the Tarantian
Yep.
that she...
You're really good with names, dude. I'm very impressed.
The Tarantian thing
This is why I take notes.
Because there's a D&D race called Tarantian,
Oh
and
my
they're literally just
gosh.
spider people.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
You nerd.
I'm a nerd. It's
I'm
fine.
a nerd.
That's why we're doing this.
You know what I wrote down?
Boring.
My note. Yeah. These are my notes for this one because I was like, boring. Chemical reaction. I don't even remember what the chemical reaction was for. Pawnee, and how does she know? Who is she? What's going on?
How does who know what?
How does who know what? How does she know? How does she know what?
How does who know what?
Oh, how does she know all the... Yes.
Oh, right.
How does she know all the
this
alien
stuff?
things magically? They didn't show us her training properly, and it wasn't believable, and she just came off as a, what's that phrase, Mary Sue? Just the woman who can do everything perfect. I just don't like perfect characters. Ironically, I do love Superman, but still.
Well, Superman is the only perfect character that should exist.
He's the only one, I'm sorry. Or Wonder Woman. I honestly hate how dark they've made Wonder Woman, because to me, Wonder Woman should be the female Superman type character.
I agree.
Not Supergirl.
We'll hit Wonder Woman later.
We will definitely,
We'll hit Wonder Woman later.
Like, I've been trying to find a Wonder Woman shirt for so long, but I'm scared people, whatever, I'm getting one for Christmas. I don't care. I love Wonder Woman. You can call me Wonder Man. I don't care. Love Wonder Woman.
She is a good hero. Anyway, we're not talking about Wonder Woman.
I'm going to throw a desk now.
No. How did you like the end of the movie though?
I wish it was longer. That's why I wish
Thank you.
I wish that's why I would take away the arms deal, and I would probably just have the rest of it all take place I would honestly have it take place, the final fight between them being the desert. Between them and the Nebula siblings. Like the Nebula siblings you just see them camping out, trying to contact MIB, and that's where the fight takes place. And that's when they discover what that thing is, and they use it on the twins. The big sun blast. Or they try to, and the twins reform, and they go, that is why we need this to destroy the hive. This is the only thing that can kill the hive. Give it to us so we can protect our race. That sort of thing. And then they're like, what? And then MIB comes in, saving the day. Deus
Ex Machina.
Thank you. He's such... This is why I hired him. I'm just kidding. I didn't hire him.
Because I can English?
Yes, he English very well. I know English well. English is not best subject. Best subject was math, and funny enough, my best two subjects in school were math and English. Anyway, so I would get rid of the arms race. It would just be a final duel in the desert. If we did do the arms race,
maybe not a final duel, but like a big battle in the desert
between the twins, at least.
Yes.
That's the duel.
And the twins there, and have MIB come in, destroy the twins,
or even capture them. I was really kind of like,
yeah.
I mean, like, that's kind of not MIB's. Well, they thought they were the big threat. Maybe they were getting questions out of them, getting answers about it, and then that's when it. Like, what do you mean? Like, you've killed countless people. Like, we will do whatever it takes to protect our people. The hive cannot live. We've been fighting, and all of a sudden, like, right when they're getting to the meat of their explanation, Ba-doom.
Yeah,
And
MIB
then
comes and kills
Agent
him.
High T comes out of nowhere. Good job, girls. We got, like, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. I was that way. Hey, you walked away. Anyway, if you don't know that meme, that's fine. That would have been perfect, though. They explode. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. And then just... Love it. Love it. But if we did do the... So that's how I would have done that. If we went...
And then I think we can finish the movie the same way it ended.
Yep.
I really enjoyed that end scene in Paris.
I did too.
On the Eiffel Tower.
But I would... We didn't talk about agency. It's fine.
No, we didn't.
That's okay, because honestly, I think it shows that he wasn't really...
I liked his character, but it was kind of like a petty rivalry that...
And it was short-lived at the end. He's like, Agent C voted for you to become the new head of the London district. I was like, okay, now you're buddies. But I mean, it did make sense that I think it would have been cool to have him... I would have built up the suspense. So Agent C is always on Agent H's case. It feels like he used to look up to him.
He's basically the rules lawyer.
What?
So there's this thing in D&D.
Oh my gosh.
Called a rules lawyer, and basically it's anybody who is like, actually that's not how it's written in the book.
Teacher, we're supposed to turn in homework at the end of class.
Yeah.
Okay. So a stickler.
That kind of person.
Okay.
And I feel like that's the kind of person that C was.
Okay. And I wouldn't mind still having him. I just would want the end maybe adding 10 more minutes to really build up like what's going on. Like they could have literally had the celebration and Agent H is there. I mean, Agent High T is there. They're all celebrating and there's like everyone's walking around cheering and, you know, even H is kind of like feeling it and Molly's just looking around and it's doing that cliche. I just imagine the cliche thing where everyone's cheering and slowly it gets quieter and leads to like a ringing and she's just sitting there and then like a click and she looks up and realizes and looks at T and realizes like that's where it is. Mm-hmm. And she like could pull out her gun or something and like that would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
And it would have been cool if maybe they were for some reason decide to commemorate. Maybe it was maybe it was getting to 3 years and they were going to celebrate. MIB was going to do like a little, why would they do a party? They're supposed to be covert. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do a little commemoration party to celebrate 3 years of them defeating it. It was coming up. They're going to do a party. I don't know, but I really would have liked to see a scene of showing how smart Molly is because she discovered MIB by herself. We need to stress that enough. I think that that's amazing about her. Do I think that it would have been better for us to get the scope of time about how long she'd worked for it? Yes, because for us it just feels like she magically did it.
Right.
But if you bring it up naturally. And if during this celebration and he's holding up the weapon,
or he does not even holding it up. He's like, this is the weapon. Let's put it away.
Ooh.
And then it can click for Molly.
And then click.
She maybe instead of going to H, she goes to C and's like, something's up with T. I don't trust H with this. He's too close.
I
don't know.
Well, I think with our corrected version of the movie, our Agent H and her
would
have been very simultaneous. Yeah, connecting it. Uh-huh. But Molly would have got it first because she doesn't have much of blinders as H does.
Yeah,
like H finally would have been like, it could have seen him celebrating. And Molly, like, the second, like, she looks up, we see H just look down, like, he's snapping it into place. Like, this feels wrong. And they look at each other. And then we just kind of look up and we just see T going up the elevator.
I like that.
And they're like, oh, no.
C, I want C to be in there, though. I like C as a character. And I like... he's smart.
He is
His
smart.
whole thing is he is so smart that the little things bother
We
him.
could have had C been killed.
Oh,
And we know that T is not part of it. Or we don't even see C get killed. We see him, or maybe we've tricked the audience into thinking C's the mole, and we see them like run up and they both connect and they go C, and they run up, bust through the door of T's office, and they're like, sir, and they find C just dead. And then they turn around and they see T going up the elevator, and you're like, oh, they had it wrong the whole time. And then
I like that.
because we really could have stressed of C always being on his case, always asking about the weapon, always asking for all these things, going through protocol, being a stickler, and he could even have been the one to take the case from them with the weapon. Like, well, this is going straight to evidence. Good job, you two. Like, actually
Straight to like weapons.
Weapons, evidence, storage, however you want to call it, and like shakes both their hands. Like, good job. I'm sorry for doubting you both. And whatever. And he still could have been a stickler. H could have still been seen. Like, he's just jealous of H, sort of thing. But yeah, I think that would have been cool to find his body, look up, and you just see him going up the elevator, holding the weapon, and just kind of like, God, you got me. Like, goes up. Or if you do like see that much, and I did too, we have him be part of the movie. We think he's the mole, and then after, T could have been like, well, Agent C, I need to borrow that. And he's like, well, sir, I was taking out. No, I'll take care of it. Go celebrate the party. And he walks up to those two during the party and is like, that was really weird. And they like both have the connection, and right when they look up, he says, Agent T asked me to give him the weapon. That kind of goes against protocol. And then all three of them like go, and then that's when they look up and they see it. So that's if Agent C gets to live. That's what I imagine.
I like the idea of him living.
Okay.
I like his character. I do like.
And I feel bad that we haven't talked about him that much because he was just in the background. He was a successful background character.
He was a very successful.
And I wouldn't want to change him. I would definitely make him. I really did like it. He wanted to see the best for C, not C, sorry. He wanted what was best for H, because again, he was probably up here to everyone's view. And I do think that the neuralizer could have made him kind of slip a few times during the movie. Would you have had the ending him kind of get some recollection back and open his hand still? Because at the end, the possessed Agent T is turned into one of the hive monsters.
I would have had the movie end the exact same way.
Okay.
Except the Will Smith thing that we talked about.
Get goosebumps thinking about it.
So, come on, rookie.
Oh, just anything like that. Just something. Like after, it could even be like the mid-cut scene. Oh, my heart.
I'd want it at the end. I would want it at the end.
You don't like a mid, not an end cut scene, but like the Marvel ones, like, you know, Men in Black, whatever.
Like an after credit
Yeah,
scene?
not after credit, but just the mid credit. Like it shows the main thing, and then it goes blank, and then nah.
End of the movie, and then we can.
So it shows them. So maybe it shows them fly off, and then it goes to black, and then it says 1 week later, or 2 weeks later, something lame like that. Maybe she trained there, and then. Ironic that we're doing a time jump when we've been barking on.
Hey, but we're giving a concrete like it's
2
been
weeks
2
later,
weeks.
and it shows her like, "Are you ready for your official meet? You got everything wrapped up in London?" And then Pawnee's, she's like, "Yep, just got off the phone with Pawnee, whatever." And then, oh, good, because your new partner has been very excited to work with you, and all the things that you've done. And then you just hear a voice, "Dang straight." Finally, nice to have someone who looks as good as I do in the suit. And you're like, oh, shoot. Like, because I love that line. You know the difference between you and me? I make this look good. That's one of my favorite scenes. Every time I put a suit on, I'm like, I am the Men in Black. I need to get cufflinks now. And you think we should have been wearing a suit. I don't have a black suit, though. Dang it! Oh!
Yeah.
Well, any final thoughts?
No, not really. I think we've hit everything.
So, in summary, we need better scope of time, better bring up for Agent M. Don't make Agent H so dumb. Have a concrete face for the villain, and really bring it home with a strong ending.
Mm-hmm.
But scope of time is really what was the kryptonite of this movie. It just it was hard. It was hard to believe it. Nothing was connected. I didn't feel a connection to anything. So the scope of time and the time we got with characters just felt meh.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I think that was that was a good episode. This was not as wow. This
you're welcome, Zach. You're welcome for a longer episode.
Oh, dang! I'm happy with this. This was a good movie to talk about. This will be fun to edit. And once again, everyone, I think in a couple of weeks here, or someday in the future, we really want to hear from you guys. And we're going to do an episode dedicated to any books or movies that you were just disappointed with. So send in some emails about a movie or a book that the ending just got you. Because you best believe there are some books out there which I hated the ending. So anything like that, we'd love to hear from you. It is just simply at hearmeoutpitch@gmail.com. Again, that is hearmeoutpitch@gmail.com. So send us some emails. And with that being said, we will see you later, pitches. Bye.
Bye.